welcome. You're watching The Money Show and I'm with you, Kavita Thaplial. And this is the show where we translate investment chaos into your mainstream wins. That's right. And today, like every day, we are stripping away the confusing jargon to give you actionable, high utility strategies you can implement. Whether you are looking to build a bulletproof emergency fund, wipe out toxic high interest debt, or optimize your portfolio against inflation. You are in the right place. From seasoned investors looking to fine-tune their portfolios to young professionals making their first investment. The questions are surprisingly similar. Where should my money go? How much risk should I take? And am I actually making the right financial choices? This is a very special edition today on The Money Show. While we'll be talking about everyone's financial planning, but today's show is dedicated to our respected senior citizens. After decades of hard work, you've earned more than just retirement. You've earned your financial peace of mind. Your retirement savings are more than just money. They are the reward for a lifetime of dedication and hard work. So in today's show, we'll help you invest wisely, avoid common financial mistakes, and make every rupee count. So let's begin, and let me just quickly flash our QR code, because that's the place where you can reach out if at all you want us to help you with your financial portfolio, your retirement fund. Just send across your queries on the QR code. Just scan it and you can send across your questions, and we will take it live on the show and get everything answered by our experts. All right, so let's begin a very special edition today in the Senior Citizen Show. The silver boom, as we all call it, India has roughly 150 to 160 million seniors right now, which will explode to 230 or 340 million by 2050. By then, 17% of global elderly population will reside in India. Senior citizens living in India is no longer just about traditional old age homes. As the country's elderly population is growing, a new senior living ecosystem is taking shape, combining housing, healthcare, hospitality, and community living. Now, definitely, the way we are expecting this particular population to reach out, they are looking for independent, comfortable, and secure ways of living, along with access to healthcare and assisted care. But there is a supply gap. Right now, India has an organized supply of only about 20 to 25,000 senior living units, but the market demand is vastly underserved. This is driving a shift towards professionally managed senior living communities, with developers and institutional investors also taking note of this. From southern cities like Coimbatore, Bangalore, and Chennai to emerging markets such as Mysore, Pune, and Jaipur, senior living is gradually becoming a new real estate opportunity as well. So what is driving this rise in senior living, and how are these communities evolving, and what does it mean for India's senior citizens? To talk more on this, we are joined by Abhinav Joshi from CBRE. Abhinav, hi. Good evening and welcome to the show. Let's understand the trend, and let's break the old stigma of old age homes. The way we look at it now, according to the data also, golden opportunities are there for the silver economy. India is witnessing a historic demographic shift. What, according to you, are the macro factors over here changing the lifestyle expectations of an Indian retiree today?
Well, good evening, and thank you for inviting me to your platform. Undoubtedly, while we are a young country and the largest demography in the world, fact of the matter is that we're also aging as a country. And you've already given all the stats in terms of, the number of million people we have, which are 60 plus. Traditionally, we've seen in our cities as well as in rural areas that typically, elders who could not take care of themselves, or their families who could not take care of the elderlies because of, work commitments, or, they were migrating, would move them to, old age homes. And there was a social stigma attached with separating your seniors away from the family and, letting them live on their own. Because, we've been guided by a joint family setup. That's part of our cultural ethos. However, what's happened over the last, at least I would say, couple of years is that as migration increases from tier 2 and tier 3 cities towards tier 1 cities, And from tier one cities and also from smaller centers, a lot of the young workforce moves out of India and moves to the Middle East or North America, Europe, and other parts of the world. You have a situation where you have several senior citizens and they do not have anyone to care for them, but their children are willing to spend and want to ensure that they're able to provide for their parents, and they are in an ecosystem where they're taken care of, and these are managed, professionally managed communities. So on account of that rising affluence, the rising spending power, the nuclearization of our families, wherein, while traditionally elderly care was always embedded in the joint family setup, but now, because mostly in our urban centers, we're talking about nuclear families, and that concept is growing more and more in the coming few years. It will continue to grow. You have a situation where consciously there are certain elderly citizens, 60 plus, they could be active, they could be mobile, or they might require assistance in terms of regular nursing or hospital care, who have decided to move into ecosystem where they have like-minded colleagues, where they're taken care of, and there is no daily disruption or threat of security, etc. And that's why these senior living projects are becoming popular. It's primarily because people are willing to spend, the working population is willing to
Right.
spend and make sure that their elderly are taken care of more
Sure.
professionally.
Sure. Let's break this down, Abhinav. So one size does not fit all in this particular category that we are talking about. Could you, in detail, walk us through with the options seniors actually have, in terms of physical real estate, differences between independent living, assisted living, and also memory care units for the viewers? What concrete design, safety features should seniors, look out for when visiting a project? So it's about what is being offered and what should you opt for depending on your requirements. How can one go about it?
Sure, absolutely. So the starting base should be the 2019 guidelines that have been released by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs for elderly care and retirement homes in India. Those guidelines are essentially prescriptions, right? They're not binding on states. And unfortunately, none of the states have really come forward with their own set of guidelines, but at least you have a benchmark that has been set by the government of India, that these are the kind of specifications and facilities that should be provided in retirement homes or in these senior living projects. It could be something very simple as, if you're talking about an assisted living project, you need 24/7 nursing support, you need 24/7 ambulance availability. If you have somebody, if you have an elderly that has gone through a medical event or a surgery, and they need recovery post that, then you need to have regular staff to support them in their recovery, in their bathing, in their eating, in their mobility, taking of medicines, etc. So it's something as sensitive as that, and something as plain and simple as wider corridors, more ergonomic furniture, making sure that there are more green facilities, also making sure that you have anti-skid tiles, etc. So these are standard specifications that have been mentioned by Government of India in their guidelines of 2019 that are being adopted by several developers and operators across the country. So senior citizens who are planning to invest rather, in their lifestyle in the coming few years via these senior living projects, they need to look at all these specifications. There are also specific norms around planning, which means that as part of the project, what is the minimum dwelling unit size? So if you're offering a 1 BHK, the size should be about 40 to 60 square meters, while you're offering a 2 BHK could be in a range of 50 to 80 square meter, and that could vary between, if you're offering that developing that in a plain area versus a hilly terrain, etc. How many medical rooms per dwelling unit, what sort of green space, open space has to be provided. The government has very clearly laid out these guidelines. And at the end of the day, most of the operators and developers are offering more, I would say, over and above that. The prime difference between, I would say, independent living and assisted living is very clear.
Yeah.
That if you're 55 plus or 60 plus, you could be active, you could be mobile. In fact, you might
Right.
be working as well, right?
Okay.
But if you want to move to a safe, secure lifestyle, it's like an apartment unit or a villa with common facilities managed by an operator.
Got
While
it.
in case of an assisted living, if you're a 70 plus or an 80 plus, and you need regular care, you have
Yeah.
24/7 nursing facilities available. That's the
Okay.
difference.
All right, but then very important, let's talk about the numbers and locations, so you did mention a few of them. But where is the most development happening right now? Financially also, what's an approximate range? Because you mentioned an apartment or villa also, and also assisted living will come at a cost. So what are we talking about in terms of numbers?
So if you look at the total stock of senior housing in the country, that's in a range of 25,000 units. Extremely underpenetrated sector. But whatever's been built, primarily 60%, around 55 to 60% of that has been in South. And South, because states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, they're almost borderline considered as aging states. A state would be considered aging, it's a standard set by the Reserve Bank of India. If 15% of your population or more than that is 60 plus, then you can be classified as aging. So Kerala, Tamil Nadu, these states have a number of senior housing projects already in cities like Kochi, Trivandrum. There is also a lot of population that has migrated out of the country or in tier 1 cities. So Coimbatore, Chennai,
Right.
these cities have. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have another, 20, 25% coming in the north.
Got
So
it.
Delhi NCR, Gurugram, Noida, you'll have locations like Dehradun, which are, Uttaranchal and closer to more
So
greenery or
southern
natural
as well as
environments.
tier two towns are upcoming. But
Absolutely.
then how affordable are they? I mean, we are talking about retirement and we're talking about post-retirement life as well. But how much would this cost? And how early of an investment should you be doing it in then?
See, I think it primarily depends on the location and the kind of care
Okay.
you want,
For
right?
example, yeah.
For example, if you're looking at a location like a western suburb in Mumbai, there a 1 BHK could cost you, I mean, the difference is not going to be very high versus a traditional housing project, right? It could be anywhere in the range of 1 to 1.5 crores. And if you're looking for a 2 BHK and above, could be anywhere from 2.5 crores to upwards of 5 crores as well. But if you move to a location like Panvel, of course, there will be a differential in costing, right? Similarly, if you have a location like Bhiwadi in NCR, there you'll be able to find a 1 BHK at about 30 lakhs to 40 lakhs,
Okay.
and a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK anywhere from 50 lakhs to 70
With
lakhs
full
as well, right?
facilities, with all assisted
With
living
full,
facilities?
with full facilities,
Okay.
there will be a proper sale deed, a transfer deed, a tripartite agreement with the
Got
operator
it.
and developer. And then after that, you'll have monthly charges. But
Mm-hmm.
let me caution that these projects are not coming at a discount. In fact, in several locations, they are at a premium
Okay.
to the other housing projects at a
All
10 to
right.
15% premium.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that's all the time I have with this segment, but thank you so much for taking your time out and giving us an introduction to this concept of senior living and how it is evolving in India. Thank you so much for being there today with us and for my viewers. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, it's time for a short break, but post that, we'll be answering senior citizens portfolio questions. Just in case you have not yet sent across your question and want to, scan the QR code and we will connect you with our experts live on the show.